All right. I need to turn on some AC or something, man. It's hot right now. Let me put the AC on. All right, hopefully it's not noisy. Okay, let's see what's going on. All right, what's happening here? All right, there we go. Got the link, so I should be able to share this now. I need to get the chat up, and then we're good. We're good to go. All right, let's get to the chat. Mick, what's happening? What is happening? So I know we had an MRMH earlier. I think it was 1:05 p.m. And sometime after that, the market started to not look as good as it was looking. Matter of fact, it started looking funny again. So I was away actually for about an hour and change. Maybe longer than that, maybe like 2 hours. Because when I was on, it was like 1:30, right? Like 1:30-ish. Okay, let's see what's going on here. What's up, Dan? I'm actually just getting back down myself on the charts. So from what I'm seeing so far, I would have to take a closer look to see what behavior is looking like at this point. I know the behavior went out, but I'm not sure how far out it went. Okay, so that's helpful. Joshua said the MRMH was beautiful, then everything after that was straight garbage. Straight trash. So I think that kind of just lets us know where we at right now. We just still observing. What's happening, Matthew? Yeah, which is all right. It's okay. Joshua, what was the other trade that somebody else took a trade? Was it? I think it was James. What time was his trade? And let me see something. It seemed like you posted. Did you post the video for that one too? Or was it the same trade? Was he in the same trade that you took? Oh, 130. Okay. Okay. Yeah, what's funny is that I saw the 110 because when you posted the MRMH, I didn't look at the video right away. I was watching the market right after that, and I saw the 110. I think I might have saw the 115 and the 120, and I just was like, it ain't. It's kind of out of sync still. It just, you could see that it was still off a little bit. That 110 was the evidence of it. Somebody else posted the 130. Okay. All right, cool. I think I did look at the video for the 130. That was the one with the 2 MP jump, and then it priced out early. I think it was kind of priced out like right away. Yeah, it's good. It's good to study what the market does, especially after MRMH, because yeah, Matthew said it looked like it caught Walker, then it got James on the recoil. I think by the time James had taken that one though, I think I had already noticed what was going on with the behavior, and I said something. I forgot exactly what I said, but I actually thought I said it before Joshua took his, but he took his trade first because he took the one right after the MRMH. Right. Right. Yeah, you had over. Okay. Yeah. When by the time I started looking at stuff again, that's when I was like phase 2. Okay. Yeah. So. That's one thing in particular that you do learn to develop over experience and just time. It's one of the things that only time can help you with, is like, like the thirst is always there, but you got real thirsty, and then you got like the thirst is there and I might do something because the thirst is there. You know what I mean? Like light thirst. When the light thirst is there, anytime it requires scrutiny, the possibility of you not scrutinizing the setup is higher because the light thirst is there. The light thirst is naturally there after you get MRMH anyway, because you got permission. So now it's like, all right, let's go. You anticipating that trade setting up. A lot of times the market will still be, like doing in a head fake mode or in some kind of funny looking mode. And just observing is something that you learn to do more of, even after MRMH. It's one of the things that I train myself definitely to do, because by the time you actually get into a trade, you kind of want that trade to be like no questions about it, and you want the market to be in that condition, in that slow environment. You don't really want the market moving too much, if that even makes sense. Like, like there's a slight difference between slow movement and then slow market. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes the market still be moving around. Even though it's moving around slow, it's moving too much. Like, it's too much movement. And that movement, sometimes it will mess around with behavior. And if it does mess around with the behavior, you'll see it if you just are in a strict observation mode and you just not budging. You know what I'm saying? Even after you see your MRMH, you still be like, all right, like, you know, you sitting there hawking like, let me see. And then you'll see some is off, be like, nope. You just be DQ and everything because, yeah, that's a good word to use. Skittish. Very good word to use. Yep. But yeah, that, you know, that's something that just time does. And at the same time, what is so almost retarded is like, as you get better, it becomes harder to resist thirst, which is retarded. You would think that it would be easier to resist thirst. Nope. Nope. It becomes more difficult to resist. And I think that is primarily why it seems like light is hitting this. It seems like that's primarily what just goes along with as you do it more, you almost can anticipate and like feel your way into a trade. And that's why like your skill can be dangerous to you sometimes, because you got to flip, you have to flip your priorities around. The better that you get, your priority now has to become working on patience, which is crazy. And yeah, see, Matthew said because that skill has you feeling some kind of way. Yep. Yep. And you don't mean to do it, but it just comes with the fact that you know, especially if you've been so consistent. And then the more consistent that you become, it's like, you know, yeah. And I don't even know if it's your ego. It's not really your ego. It's really just almost like you got to dumb down your confidence so that you don't get to be too big for yourself. If that even makes sense. Like you got to intentionally humble yourself again, even after you get nice. Like after you get real good, you got to still be like, nope, you better relax because this market will still tear you up. It's like you got to have conversations with yourself almost. Jack says, same thing you learning for years, available in minutes. Yep. And you're dealing with everything. See, that's another thing too about like the challenge of trading on the 5 minutes, because everything is split second. That's why your level of skill has to be high, so that instead of relying on what you think your skill is, you just execute the skill that you actually have. And I know that sounds a little funny, but that's more like what it is. Because I'm trying to like, it's such a thin line. You're more so trying to execute only. Does that make sense? Like the less you think about it and the more that you execute, the smoother everything becomes, because the execution will keep you out of the market when the market could potentially tear you up. That's what it is. When you execute thoroughly, it will keep you out of trades. When you don't force yourself to execute like thorough, your confidence in your ability can almost make you miss stuff that's going on in the market. Like mind you sitting here looking at it, and you'll miss something and it'll be right there in your face. You looking, you like, yeah, this look good. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. All right, all right. And you talking your way through it. Next thing you know, you see something, but you don't see it. You see it, but you don't want to see it because you've been talking and puffing yourself up so that everything that you're doing is gonna justify when you take that trade. You want to feel like, yeah, that was justified. You want to feel like that. And I'm actually glad that I'm talking about this because I don't even like with Joshua specifically with what happened with the trade that he took today. He didn't do what I'm talking about. But for whatever reason, I'm led to talk about this because this is another thing that you end up dealing with as you get better. It's another layer that you end up dealing with that's a part of yourself that you got to peel back and you got to control. Again, it's so crazy how it's so many things that you got to deal with when it comes to yourself. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Matthew says, knowing you can make threes, but the better shot is a layup. Yep. Matthias said Bitcoin going to 10,000. I'm sure it is. Winston, amazing that I can get on the live commentary while I work. Yeah, man, beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. All right, market is starting to slow somewhat. Jay Carly said, like I said today, not a jack of all trades, but a master of my trades. DJ Carly said she ain't taking a trade till June. She's like, nah, I ain't feeling how the market is acting right now. I ain't feeling this market. Yeah, but it's very interesting. It's almost like every time you overcome something, you run into the next thing. There's always a next thing. And again, I'm not even talking about the market. I'm talking about you. You run into something about something that you do, or a behavior that you have that you ain't even know was there, or it's the reoccurrence of a pre-existing behavior that you had before that showed its head again. Because now you on another level, but the old, it's like a you know how like something leaves a trail behind. Your old habits still leave a little trail that's there, even though you going past them. It's like you go past your bad habits to elevate above them, but your bad habits leave traces. So even though you went past the bad habit and you rose up, now you at a high level, but the trace of it is still there, so it can pop up again, and many times will pop up again until you learn how to, from the higher perspective, overcome it again. That shit is crazy. You be like, damn, I thought I dealt with this, and here it is. I am here again, dealing with this again. Yep, tell you, man. That's why the better you become, the more bullshit you got to deal with. More money, more problems. That's true. That's what they say. More money, more problems. The more of it that you get, the more drama you're gonna get, because you keep elevating. And every time that you elevate, you are now given the responsibility of the elevation. Now you're responsible for it. What's up, Stacy? Yep, you're gonna stay there. It's crazy, man. Winston said, I agree with Benito. Don't guess or anticipate. Just accept, and if no trade comes, so what? Move on and keep looking for the next. Yep. Yep. Now, mind you, you gotta, like, as you're going through the processes and you're actually in execution mode, you gotta constantly remind yourself of exactly that. Literally, you sitting there talking to yourself while you on the charts. Don't be thirsty. Nope, don't jump into nothing. Nah, that ain't it. Nope. Not quite. Maybe it's coming. It still ain't there. Hold up. Wait a minute. Nope. Ugh, almost. This is your conversations with yourself. Don said, I heard, I listened, but I never stopped trying to get better. That's the thing. There ain't no stopping. It's like you in motion is eternal. Like motion never stops. It never stops. And that becomes interesting because as you're moving, you realize that you're transferring from one point to another in the movement. When you move to the next point, you don't even know what's at the next point yet. You don't even know what's over there. When you get there is when you find out what's over there. But it's the experiences that you've had already that prepare you for where you're going. That's why when you become better at doing something, the challenges get more intense also. But even though the challenges become more intense, you have more strength to deal with them. So it doesn't seem like it's more intense, but it is. Ain't that crazy? That's what really goes on. As you become better, the level that you at is a level where people be like, damn, I could never do that. They're saying they could never do that, and you do with ease, but you're really not doing it with ease. You're doing it because you've learned how to navigate and to deal with the challenge. You know how to deal with the stress. That's what you've been training for the whole time. It's how to deal with yourself and your bullshit. So as you move forward, the bullshit becomes less and less intense to you, even though it's more intense because it's at a higher level. It's like your BS now elevates a little bit because you elevated. It's following you. But what happens is because you elevated, you now have more strength. So you have more power to deal with the BS when it comes. And that's why you got to do it fast. You have to. You got to do it. It's like you got to deal with yourself so quick so you don't give any room to the BS coming in and disrupting your peace. You got to keep yourself in the peace. Dan said, devil on one side, angel on the other. Constant chatter from both. Come on, man. I can't tell you how many times, like, I'll see things set up, you know, and it, like, for me personally, it was a challenge to trade with Mark's rule in the beginning. It was a challenge because I was used to ending up being in what we would call Mark's rule, because I would feel my way through the market until I get there. So in essence, I was doing everything that we do now. I didn't know I was doing it though. If that makes any sense. It's like how you can do something but you can't explain how you're doing it. It's like that. So when I reversed it and then had to break it down and dissect it, that's how I was able to break the pieces apart and explain what they were. And then when I did that, now for me, it's like, well, that's more difficult for me to do because now I'm actually not going to be in the trade that will become the position. And at first that was kind of crazy to me because it's like, damn, man. But then I was like, nope, nope. I'm gonna stick to it, just like I'm telling everybody else to. Where the hell is that light coming from? I don't understand that. You know, I got severe OCD. All right. Dorian says, speaking of stress, as a full-time trader, how do you handle the possibility of the market not giving you a trade for the week? That means no paycheck. I mean, it's really simple. You know that a week is just a week. That's one. Um, I'm already conditioned to do certain things. Like I live beneath my means already. Y'all see this right here? This might be MRMH right here. I didn't see the very beginning of this, but it looks like this might be MRMH right there. um, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong too, but this 350 just now, that looked like it was it. That was it, right? Okay, cool. All right, that was it. As we talking. And what the hell was I just talking about? You know I get distracted very easily. I was about to say something. What was I talking about? And this is what, 350? All right, 350. Okay, thank you. Not having a paycheck if the market doesn't give you a trade. Thank you. Um, Joshua said, dealing with your BS will elevate your skill. Mick said humility. Everybody said something else because we talked about all of that, right? Definitely. All right, so yeah, but as far as like, all right, when the market don't give it up, one, are you conditioned to live beneath your means? First of all, I am. Like I live way beneath my means. And that automatically is stress free. You just cut stress down dramatically just doing that. It's like it's like having a safety net that's always there. Just think of it in terms of that. Your safety net is always there. So now that you have that, you're not concerned about what happens as far as your paycheck. You know that you're going to be the creator of the paycheck, but in essence, it's the way that you cooperate with the market that's allowing you to be the creator of the paycheck. So what that means is allow the market to be the market. Don't put yourself under an unnecessary pressure, feeling like I gotta get a paycheck. You understand what I'm saying? Remember that what we do is always elevation. So even when we're building our account, you always in position to scale up, especially when you remain consistently profitable. So think about that. Just think about that. That means, let's say that you position yourself to scale up to 80 contracts, right? And you know, financially, 80 contracts, if you just consider doing that once a week, if you just happen to average doing that once every week, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be enough money depending on what your situation is. You know, that's like excess of $1,000 a week. 80 contracts, minimum profit that we look to earn on the trades at the absolute minimum on one trade is what, that's like about $1,200. So just think about that. You telling me that if all you did was just trade once a week, you're gonna make $1,200? All right, so how do I get to that point? How do I get to the point where I'm at the 80 contract level? Easy to do that. That's easy to do because you are doing something to remain consistent in the market. And as long as you consistent in the market, you scale up with no problems. You're not scared to scale up. You're not scared to trade with more contracts. See, that's what it becomes. People allow the stress to put fear. I'm over here talking. All right, that ain't nothing. People allow the stress to put fear in them. You understand what I'm saying? The pressure of feeling like, well, this is my job. This is all I do, so I have to make a paycheck. No, you don't have to make a paycheck. The market is going to give you money. Like, you have to understand the market is going to give you money. You've positioned yourself with skill. Use your skill. The skill is the money gonna fall in your lap. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why in the very beginning, when people start off small and they're in the growth phase, and that's why I'm doing the blueprint project now, because I want to concentrate more so on the phases and the thinking that you should have when you're in the phase. If you in the growth phase, you're not in the income phase yet. So you can't think of things in terms of, well, I started with $100. I'm only making $15 of profit. You in the growth phase. Why are you worrying about how much profit you made? Just be consistent and win. Stop being thirsty and taking a bunch of trades and then losing and then having to get it back. And then end up losing anyway, because you're going to revenge trade, you're going to be extra thirsty, and you're going to lose. You see how you did that to yourself? That wasn't the market. Oh, the market, man, the market wasn't good this week. You begin to sound a little retarded when you don't accept the fact that it's the market that's the reason you're going to succeed in the first place. But you got to learn how to let the market be the market. If the market is telling you, nope, I'm not giving you no money. Nope, nope, nope. It took all week, you didn't get no money. Okay. It is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. Just accept it. Accept the fact that the market never always does the same thing. It's not going to always not pay you. Like, am I making sense? People get into that fear like, oh, what if? And you so stuck in what if, you missed the trade. You see what I'm saying? You missed it. The market just gave you money. You wasn't even there because you worried about you didn't get a trade last week. What if I don't get a trade this week? The market just gave you a trade. You wasn't even paying attention because you were worried about the fact that the market didn't give you a trade last week. If the market didn't pay you last week, be happy. It means you did your job. You kept your money in your account. That's your job. Your job is not to try to force a paycheck. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. And I'm telling y'all, man. You'll think like that, and it reverses your natural inclination to be afraid and to be fearful and to be stressed out. You reverse it. And my OCD is crazy. This shit is really getting on my nerves with that light. You reverse it. You reverse the whole thing. So it's like using reverse psychology on yourself. You do that, you will just remain consistent. Don said, like Jim Rohn says, you can work your job while you build your business. When it grows, then you can make a transition. Bingo. And that's it. And see, that's what I mean about being in the growth phase. If you're in the growth phase of your business, you're not in the income phase of your business yet. You're building to get up to that point. The same skill that's going to get you through the growth phase and transition you into the income phase is the same skill that you're using in the income phase. You see what I'm saying? So all of the stuff that's happening early, you're going through it now. You're like, damn, it's taking me a long time to get these trades. No, it ain't. You thinking that it is. It ain't taking you a long time. It ain't taking you a long time at all. Go back and just look at, if you went through the group chat alone and looked at the actual trades that's set up after we had permission to be in the market, trades that people took, count them. Add them up. What are we in May? Add them up from the beginning of January. You will be shocked. You'd be like, damn, I didn't know it was that many trades. It's a bunch of trades. And when you're spreading it out over time, look at the spreadsheet. How many trades is in the spreadsheet to get you from 1 to 50 contracts? You see what I'm saying? Like, everything is already in place. All you have to do is to execute. That's it. Stop worrying about if trades are coming. You don't have to worry about it. The trades are either going to come or they're not. And just leave it alone. Like, dude, you don't have to force your way. You don't have to be under pressure. You don't have to be stressed out. Oh, well, I don't always have time to be on the charts. Everybody don't always have time to be on the charts. I'm full-time, and I don't always have time to be on the charts. And don't care. Then out of nowhere, oh, there's a trade. End up being in the trade. Even recently, I went so far as to, for about 3 months, from the beginning of the year until like March, the end of March, going into April. And if y'all go and look in the chat, when y'all see me post my trades, you'll see what I'm talking about. I cut my contract size in half for 3 months. This is something I personally wanted to do. I said, let me cut it in half and just see how much I make. Let me just see. In them 3 months, I cut the contract size in half and made more money than I did 5 months last year with half the contract size that I normally trade. You see what I'm saying? I just put it to the test. I was like, let me just see what happens. Either way, I'm not stressed out. It doesn't matter to me. Oh, well, damn, well, you could have made twice as much. Of course I could have. But I just told you I made more in 3 months than I did in 5 months last year. Doing half the work. Half the contract size. Just saying, man. Don said the markets used to be open to people who had millions of dollars. Thank God for technology. The average person could build wealth with very little money. Telling you, man, that's why I get excited. I get goosebumps when I think about what we do, because you heard what he just said about technology and how you can start with a little. We talking about starting with a little, and in less than a year, positioning yourself to make full-time money. And you started with 100. Maybe you messed up 4 or 5 times. All right, you started with 400 or 500. Okay. Until you got it right. There's a few folks like that. That's how Joshua was. Joshua didn't start winning out the gate. He was mad hard-headed in the beginning. Mad people are mad hard-headed at first and lose. What did he do? He stopped the bullshit. Started getting consistent. Then, he took 100 to 3K in no time. It's like, does work when you just focus. When you stop doing all of the nonsense and learn how to control yourself and stop being thirsty. You see what I'm saying? The results speak for themselves. So that's all it is. Like the more you slow it down, the faster it gets. That's why this is so crazy. And I'm telling, like, just like what Don just pointed out, you can start small because you're using your skill to build. You're using your skill to build in a vehicle that is powerful if you have skill. What you can do on NADEX is remarkable when you have skill in the market. That's all I can tell you. Like, and I know people trade different types of markets. You know, like people, I know that they big in the cryptocurrency space and all of that. Like I see y'all on here talking about Bitcoin. Y'all are funny. Y'all like to come on here and talk about Bitcoin and cryptos, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. You know, but like, all I can say is that I know for a fact this platform called NADEX and the skill that we have and the instrument that we trade, 5-minute binaries, I don't need nothing else right now, bro. I don't need nothing else. And I don't care like what level you start from. You can start from a level of, you might have been trading for 15 years. Or you might have started trading last week. Or you might not even know what trading is yet, but you're interested. Whatever your experience or your interest level is, you running a TeamAlliance, you running into education, you running into training, and you running into winning. That's all I could say. Like I don't have to say nothing else. That's what it is. That's what it is. You don't have to ask me. Ask anybody that has been bit by TeamAlliance, and they'll tell you the same thing. It is what it is. This is years and years of studying the market, and now using it to apply to something very specific, and we're gonna smash that thing, and that's it. I don't want to do nothing else. I don't want to do anything else. This is working. I'm gonna make it work to the fullest, and that's it. I'm gonna show other people how to do it too. Stacy said, and great people. Absolutely. Like, you know, this has brought so many of us together. People from all walks of life. There's all type of people here. All with the common goal. Everybody just wants to be free. And just like what I was talking about a moment ago, as far as living beneath your means, that's important. That represents humility. You got to humble yourself to live beneath your means. You in position if you wanted to. You could flourish. You could buy cars. You could buy jewelry. You could be popping bottles and doing all kind of nonsense that people like to do, holding up money to your ear, doing stupidity if you want to. If that's how you rock, go ahead. I don't rock like that. I'm a grown man with a family with kids. I do this for a living and I like Starbucks. That's it. That's me. You do you, I do me. You know what I'm saying? Like it allows you to be yourself. I don't have to try to be somebody else. I can be myself. That's the beauty of being free. You possess a skill that you can execute and earn money at a high level and take it as high as you want to go. Like you can keep going higher if you want to take it higher. Come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Jay Carter said, we're literally starting our business from $100. People that open businesses get mad loans and it takes 5 years to profit. Come on, we at $100. Take your time. That's what I'm talking about. Don said, Floyd Mayweather mentioned he wasn't always making the big money. He said, this was a result of my dedication to my craft. I love when people talk about Mayweather because Mayweather represents training. When you look at Mayweather, you see the training that he does. When people fight him, they get mad at him. He has out-trained you, and he's going to outperform you in the ring. That's it. Who that sound like? Come on, man. Mahota said, so you're saying that based on your training, we can acquire a skill to essentially trade with almost zero losses to turn a small account into a large account by letting the market come to us? Yep. That's exactly what I'm saying. Mick, can you trade multiple pairs with your principals? You can trade any market. I'm not going to say multiple because I don't recommend trading more than one market. But if you like another market more than the market that you see us trade, like we like to trade the pound, you like a different market more than that, that's fine. Feel free. But stick to one because you want to learn the nuances and the intricacies of the market that you're watching and that you're studying. You got to remember the market is something that you're going to observe and study. It ain't something that you're using to try to pick trades on binaries with. You got to learn how to interpret what the market is telling you so that you know when the market is telling you it's giving you money, and you know when the market is telling you it ain't giving you shit. Stacey said, even with a 9 to 5, you need to live below your means. Yes. I did. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was conditioned to do that when I did have a job. Did the same thing. Drove around in a car that I ain't have no car note for. I didn't have a mortgage and own property. I used my brain and my resources to position myself. I wasn't buying cars and bullshit, clothes and all of that dumb stuff when I was young. I was investing in real estate, buying a car that I could afford. So I didn't have, payments and I could save. I'm conditioned to do that. That ain't never going nowhere. Just 20 years later, I'm still doing the same thing. Good habits. Yep. Jay Carly, our process is for training, no trade secrets to give away. Only time I care about Mayweather is when we talk about us. I know that's right. We train so well. Any question you ask, we all giving the same answer. She ain't lying. We sound like the same person. I don't even have to say nothing. If I sat here and just was quiet and let everybody else respond and just read what they said, you would be like, damn. They really do that. They really do that. Yes, indeed. Let me get out of here. Go pick up my daughter. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for coming on. Y'all stay safe in the market. Let me read what Don said. He said Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought when he was 25. That's hard right there. That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. I'm out. Deuces.